The Rebbe found himself defending religion on more than one occasion in his encounters with scientists. So there was a scientist, I think he was a biologist, but I don't remember, who encountered the Rebbe, and he confronted the Rebbe about the age of the universe, age of the earth. Is the earth 4 billion years old, or is the earth 5,000 years old? So the Rebbe, Rabbi Schneerson, wrote 2 letters to this professor defending the biblical position, a young earth, basically. The Rebbe's position is not that important. I don't understand that well myself. It has to do with the lack of reliability of extrapolatory science and the way they make these determinations based on decay of different chemical compounds. And so the Rebbe wrote several letters defending the biblical position of a young earth. Professor Velvel Green came across these letters, and he read them. And he concluded, as a scientist, the letters were too simplistic, they were too general. I mean, typically, how do rabbis answer scientists? Like rabbis. Like how do scientists answer rabbis? Like scientists. In other words, he felt that the letters were just skimming the surface of the questions. They were not addressing the specific questions. He wasn't happy. So he came to his Rabbi Feller and says, listen here, Rabbi Feller, with all due respect, Rabbi Schneerson does not have to know everything. He doesn't have to know everything. But he has to know what he knows and what he doesn't know. And when there's an issue that he shouldn't talk to, he shouldn't speak. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. He felt that the letters were simplistic. They didn't have enough detail, enough meat. So Rabbi Feller said, listen, you have a personal relationship with Rabbi Schneerson. You've met him many times. You've sat in his office and chatted about all kinds of things. Ask him. Ask him. He said, I don't want to do that. I'm going to embarrass him. If I confront him, if I point out the flaws of his reasoning, I'm going to put him on the spot. I don't want to do that. Rabbi Feller says, listen, I certainly can't help you with the science. You're not going to hurt his feelings. He's a grown-up, you know. So he sat down and wrote the Rebbe a long letter delineating, pointing out, outlining all of the things he felt that were simplistic about the Rebbe's arguments, about the possibility of a young earth. And the Rebbe didn't respond. There was no answer. Now in 1963 or 64, when that letter was written, people used to ask the Rebbe such wonderful questions as, should I buy a Whirlpool or a GE refrigerator? And he would actually do the research and tell him which model was better, which model had longer life. I mean, people wasted the Rebbe's time with a lot of nonsense. And he answered everybody. Not getting an answer to a question of any type then, especially this, was very unusual. And Velvel Green could only draw one conclusion. That the Rebbe is admitting that he doesn't know, right? How does a person respectfully back out of an argument? Just keep your mouth shut, right? In Talmudic language, shtikak hoda'ah, silence is acquiescence. The nicest way to lose an argument is just don't argue back. Everybody knows you lost. Everybody saves face. As they say in Hebrew, shalom al Yisrael. Everybody's good. So the Rebbe doesn't respond, and Velvel, okay, so at least I put him in his place. He, in a very dignified way, conceded. End of story. Years pass. I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years pass. And the Greens made a huge change in their personal life. They took their children out of public school and they registered them in a yeshiva, which was a big step for them. It was a very big step for them. They were both intellectuals, they were both professionals, they were both college educated, and it was a big step to decide that yeshiva education was more important than college prep education. And the Rebbe was thrilled. The Rebbe was very happy. So he wrote them a letter congratulating them on this move, and in the bottom of the letter he says, because of this incredibly heroic act that you were making, I'm giving you a gift. And he answers the letter from 3 years before. Turns out the Rebbe knew what he was talking about, and he wasn't beating a kettle, and he wasn't generalizing, and he wasn't being simplistic. His points were very crystal clear. And he wrote Velvel Green a long letter, which was then followed up by a personal meeting where they talked it over. And the Rebbe showed him that he understood exactly what he was talking about. He understood the sciences, he understood the reasons to say that the earth is much older, and he defended his position, and Velvel Green realized that the rabbi actually knew the sciences, not just the religion. So he says, Rabbi, I need to ask you a question. 3 years ago, I read your letters, and I was angry. I was really angry. Why would you engage in a conversation that you don't know enough about? Why would you do that? And you ignored me. You didn't respond. You allowed me to think that you conceded. Now, I don't care. I got over it. I'm not upset anymore. It doesn't matter that much to me. I still hold what I held. I still believe the earth is much older than you say it is. But it doesn't bother me that you have a different opinion. So when it bothered me, you ignored me. And when I don't care, you respond. This is what he said to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe told him something incredibly wonderful. The Rebbe said to him, if I had answered you then, you would not have come to where you've come today. If I had answered you 3 years ago, you would not have evolved as a Jew the way you did. And he said, quote, I'd much rather lose an argument and win a Jew than win an argument and lose a Jew.